real quick here, replacing the front struts on this 4Runner. I'll show you kind of the reverse process, how to put back together, but in a nutshell, all you do is loosen the, I believe they're 14 millimeter, drop the sway bar, and then this sway bar link disconnected. I believe that's also a 14 or 17. And then you're going to have to loosen 3 bolts on top of here. So there's 3 bolts, which actually are these right here, 1, 2, 3. You're going to put the wrench on there and then just hit it with a hammer, and they'll come right out for you. Once this assembly is out, what you're going to do is you're going to take a jack, wedge it in right here. You're going to take another jack, wedge it in right there. I know this is pretty ghetto, but it actually works. So you jack this all the way up, make sure there's no movement here, and then what you do is you use this jack, you jack this up, and you can just, I'll use the sway bar link until the jack point here, this meets the bottom of this, and then what it'll do is it'll start to push. You only need a little bit of clearance for this lower control arm to drop, maybe about an inch, so that you can get the strut out from here. It goes this way and then this way and then down. That's how I got it to do that. And then you take these as spring clamps, compress these a little bit with your impact. I believe they're like 17 mil. And then this was the hardest part. This actually did not want to come off no matter what I used, because this is all, as you can see, it's extremely cheap stuff, so it's stripped real easy. I was, holding it with channel locks. So what worked, believe it or not, is actually soaking it at WD-40 and then taking an impact and putting some channel locks on the actual tube itself, and it'll keep spinning, but just keep going like this at it for a couple times, and this actually will come off eventually, or hopefully it will. If it doesn't work for you like this, guys, you're gonna have to cut this off with a grinder, and then you're gonna have to buy a new bolt potentially, because you'll damage this maybe. But I'm reusing all of this. It looks pretty fresh. It's just that somebody who put these crappy struts on before me, these are like aftermarket struts, and they only last like 30 to 40,000 miles. Alright guys, so the way to put the new strut back in and get that bottom bolt in, the easiest way I found is to take a car jack like this, and jack up from there to the top point, and then you'll have enough clearance to get that bolt in to the bottom right there. Alright guys, so basically all completed here. First thing you're going to want to do is install that bushing back and tighten these up, but not all the way. Leave some room for you. Next thing you're going to want to do is this sway bar link. Tighten the top up first, then line the bottom up. Tighten the bottom up as well. You're going to want to move this assembly up and down to line up that bolt. Don't force it in, it should go in relatively easily. Then what you're going to want to do is jack up the bottom with a jack like this, and what that'll allow you to do is not only connect these lower bolts to the knuckle, but also it's going to allow you to line this up properly. This should also go in very easily, this bolt. If it doesn't, it means you have to line up the hole correctly. So either lift this or lower it. I'm also adding a spacer lift here. So I put this spacer lift in there. You tighten these up first when the shock is out, and then you tighten these top ones. There's 3 of them. 1, 2, 3. This is going to be tightened when it's still off the car. You hold this top one with a 10 mil and you tighten this. Everything is either an 18 mil, a 14 mil, a 16 millimeter. You have to have all the sockets within that range. So basically, yeah, we're good to go on this side. This is the other side of that knuckle. See, here's the bolt right there. You're gonna have to jack it up and then line this this bolt up. It's very easy. No need to do anything crazy like tighten this down with a strap. I've seen that done. No need to do any of that. And yeah, after that you're basically good to go. I also like to soak everything here in WD-40 just to prevent any kind of rust or anything like that. The vehicle is pretty clean, as you can tell. There's like barely any rust on there. It's a Florida vehicle, but I still like to kind of wipe everything down in WD-40 before I put the wheel back on.